Hello and welcome to World Stories, your international reporters magazine. I'm Sarah Harmon. Coming up, we'll meet some African dancers who inspired Beyoncé, visit the Amazonian rainforest, and find out about the future of photo editing. But first, building your own house is a pretty impressive accomplishment. You have to have a strong work ethic, technical know-how, and some serious muscle. Now imagine doing all that while completely blind. When construction worker Abu Mohamad lost his sight, he decided to continue his profession despite the challenges. He's now in his 60s and he's still going strong. Hisham Abu Somaya reports from Jericho.
At first glance, nobody would even notice that this man is completely blind. Abu Mohamad says he lost his sight around 9 years ago because of a medical procedure that went wrong. But that hasn't stopped him from carrying on as a construction worker. He finished building his own house, and then, with the help of his family, he started putting up a shop next door.
I love my work just as I love my homeland and my people.
The 62-year-old has a large family to provide for. That's a big incentive to keep working for as long as he can.
I have 7 sons and 8 daughters. I have 2 wives, one older and one younger.
Abu Mohamad can do all the jobs that construction requires. He mixes the cement by hand and lays the blocks one by one. He can also cut steel reinforcement bars using an angle grinder.
It's too bad that people in our society don't value the blind. They just assume we're disabled, don't have any experience, and aren't of any use to others. In their eyes, if a person is missing a part of their body, that person is nothing. But that's wrong.
For Abu Mohamad, losing his vision didn't mean losing his ability to work. He is determined to finish building his shop one brick at a time until it's ready for business. Hisham Abu Somaya for NBC in Jericho.
What do you think it takes to be successful in today's world? Hard work, talent, luck? How about all three? Up next, we meet some dancers who went from Bairro de Liberdade in Mozambique to performing in music videos with pop superstar Beyoncé. Now, it takes a lot to impress someone with her talent and experience, but the dancers from W-Tofo didn't even have to try. She came to them. Their journey is an incredible one, and so are their dance moves, by the way. Sit back and enjoy the show.
The dancers of W-Tofo from Mozambique shot to worldwide fame as a direct result of a video shot by a stranger and posted on YouTube. It's an amazing story of the kind only possible in the internet age. American singer Beyoncé talks about her collaboration with W-Tofo to make the music video for Run the World Girls. Back then, the group was known as W-Tofo. Beyoncé was looking for a really different and innovative dance style for the video, but wasn't quite sure what she wanted.
Oh, here it comes.
While searching for ideas on the internet, she ran across a video of W-Tofo that someone had posted on YouTube. Not even the dancers themselves know who uploaded the images.
We don't know. We know where the party was. We danced there a few years ago, but we don't know who uploaded the video.
Beyoncé says she tried for months to reproduce the moves with professional dancers, but with little success.
It was just like they would put their fist in.
What country was it? I think they told me about that.
So she asked her production company to find W-Tofo at all costs. For the dancers, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. They boarded a plane for the United States.
Welcome, guys.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
I'm Beyoncé.
Okay. Beyoncé?
Yeah.
The next challenge now is to put what we have
right
to you.
Yeah, hopefully I can.
Beyoncé was moved to tears when she finally met the unpretentious creators of the dance steps she and her high-caliber choreographer had tried so hard to copy. Beyoncé's admiration meant lots of work for the duo, who had split with a third member and renamed themselves W-Tofo. They had to teach the steps to Beyoncé and then to her dancers.
1, 2, 3.
Now, 3 years after their big break, we looked up W-Tofo again to find out how things have been shaping up for them since then.
From the work with Beyoncé, we learned how to develop and structure choreography and how to design a show.
Working with Beyoncé was like a gold mine for our lives and careers. We'd been performing that dance for a long time, a very long time, but it didn't attract that much attention. The opportunity to dance together with Beyoncé has changed our lives completely. Now people see everything we do with different eyes. We're seen as a kind of legend. We've worked with the diva herself.
It was amazing. Africans going to America to teach a dance, and us, when there are so many other dancers in Africa. It was really sensational.
We want to establish W-Tofo as a worldwide brand. We have to take advantage of the name this has made for us and keeps on making, to keep getting bigger.
The dancers of W-Tofo worked hard to perfect their moves. They've proven that if you stick with something, you can make your dreams come true, no matter how humble your beginnings.
From modern pop to an ancient culture, pack your suitcase. We're headed to the Amazon rainforest to meet the Yanomami. For thousands of years, these indigenous people have been living in nature without destroying it. Different groups of the Yanomami coexist in diverse but interconnected riverside communities. Anthropologists are fascinated by their rich history. Vale TV's Rosa Quintero found out more.
The Yanomami are one of the oldest and least familiar indigenous peoples in South America. They're spread over an area about the size of Austria. They're made up of many subcommunities and live in the rainforest on both sides of the border between Venezuela and Brazil. They're said to have originated in the region around the source of the river Orinoco. Many of their villages line the river's banks. Their population is estimated at more than 35,000. It's believed they lived in the Amazon for at least 10,000 years, and perhaps much longer. The Yanomami have kept ancient traditions alive to the present day.
The Yanomami are a very old South American culture. Their origins date back to one of the first migration waves of Native Americans, possibly as far back as 30,000 years ago. Fortunately, they've survived all the adversities and remain an example of an alternative culture that has a great deal to teach us.
I see them as one of Venezuela's most important indigenous peoples, though not because of their numbers. In that sense, the way you and other peoples are much larger. Neither are they a local ethnic majority in Venezuela. Only about 15,000 live here.
Yanomami means human being, but what's really meant by that is more like human being of the forest. The words Yanam or Yanomam mean human being in general, but in particular they apply to people from the deepest forest. So a Yanomami is a human being from the depths of the forest.
Iñapa means indigenous person, not just person. It always means an indigenous person in contrast to the non-indigenous person.
Yanomami means human being, and that's pretty much a constant even outside the Americas. All over the world, the name a people, a community, or an ethnicity gives itself coincides with the general term for human being. You don't have to look far afield. Temon and Wayu both mean basically nothing more than human being.
The Yanomami aren't just an indigenous Venezuelan people, of course. I call them a Latin American people because their territory reaches into Brazil, and one should speak of the Yanomami in their entirety. The community of the Yanomam was once thought to make up the majority of the Yanomami, but now we know better. In June, I heard a figure from a Brazilian researcher of more than 20,000 Yanomami in Brazil. Now we have to review the Venezuelan figures, because we know there are a large number of Yanomami who haven't been included in any census. There may well be around 12,000 here. A little more than 3,000 Senema, plus a very small group called the Yanam or the Ninam. But in the last census, they called themselves the Shiriana. That's their other name. Some groups have several possible names. One researcher tried to describe the Yanomami collectively, both the Venezuelan and the Brazilian sides, and she spoke of 40,000 altogether. That seems a bit exaggerated to me, but it is possible the number's close to 35,000, and that's a significant population.
Photographs are all around us, on cereal box packaging, in fashion magazines, on billboards, and in brochures. And nearly all of the pictures we're exposed to have been digitally retouched. Now, I'm not talking about photoshopping out a model's wrinkles, though that certainly happens too. Run-of-the-mill digital enhancements like sharpening a photograph's contrast or brightening the background are the basic housekeeping chores of professional photographers, and many of them are happy to outsource these thankless post-production tasks. Bipin Chandra Chaguli of Emerging Stars TV reports on why many have started sending their work to India.
Mumbai, India, the commercial capital of one of the largest economies in the world. Here we meet Avinash Jain, CEO and founder of Key India Graphics. The company specializes in digital imaging, photo retouching, keywording, and video editing.
What we do is basically photographers around the world, when they shoot any images, they don't have the time to process these images, like retouching them or making them look nicer before it actually goes on the website or the print. So we came up with this business idea where photographers should be able to send these images outside their country to get it done in India. So we do the retouching for them, we do keywording for them, we make their images look nicer so that they can concentrate on shooting images and getting in touch with their clients, and the post-processing work could be done out of our office in India. We have around 239 experts right now. That's combined of retouching, keywording, scanning, and marketing and HR department completely. We do around between 15 to 20,000 images every single day, whether it's e-commerce or wedding photography, commercial photography. Now we've also ventured into consumer retouching. So that size is going to grow much faster, where consumers around the world are going to take pictures, and if they want some image retouching to be done, they could send it to our website, we'll retouch it and we'll send it back to consumers anywhere back in the world.
In addition to work for agencies, professional photographers, and color labs, the company also has private clients. Through its website, customers can order services from all over the world. But what would attract international clients to this particular company?
Clients come to us because of three main reasons. One is quality. When they're sending their images out to somebody, it needs to be 100% sure that the images are high quality. Then second is security. For me, it's the number one priority if I'm sending it to anybody outside India, right? Outside their country. So we have to ensure the security has to be topmost. Somebody sending their images from US, from UK, from Germany, we have to ensure their images are top secret over here, and we retouch and we send it back to them, deleted once it's done from our office. And third is turnaround time. Fourth comes the price. If price is the cheapest, you cannot get the first three in place. So clients usually come to us for these three reasons, and the last is of course the price as well.
What did your client ask?
Client have a specific instruction. Some clients want their diamonds to be very perfect. It need according to the carats, it has to be very sharp. It has to be very shiny. The basic concept is that it has to be look very extraordinary. When they put it on the pamphlets or something, then the customer must get attracted. Oh, this is the one. I should buy this.
Since its inception, Key India Graphics has greatly expanded its customer base. The company is constantly acquiring new professional clients, including leading photographic and advertising agencies. To meet their high demands, the company has devised a customer care system that ensures results of a consistently high quality and guarantees every client individual attention.
We dedicate a team for every client. So let's just say photographer John, just for an example, he sends us an image and her name is Shraddha. So she will do only John's work, so that there's consistency in the same quality required on this next order, on this third order, on the fourth order as well. The same way, his name is Raj, so Raj would also do the same image for a particular client of the next orders itself. So we maintain that consistency in terms of quality. If a client sends any feedback, then only he sees that feedback, making sure that he understands client's mentality and the way of working properly.
Jain has already achieved the success he once dreamed of, but he's not resting on his laurels just yet.
What keeps me driving in this business is creating jobs, as well as seeing the value of our company grow, not just monetary point of view, but number of people we've hired, and see the number of customers we've got over a period of time. And I still feel we're still a startup, even though we've been in this business for 5 years. I still feel that there's lots more to be achieved. We have a 5-year plan already in place, what we need to do. So that keeps me driving, and seeing our guys happy, seeing our customers happy every single day makes our business grow.
Avinash Jain would like his company to become known as the Microsoft or Google of the photo retouching business. He knows he has the entrepreneurial genes. His father and grandfather founded a jewelry business in India that went on to great success. But Jain didn't want to take over the business. He was intent on starting something new of his own.
I always thought of myself of doing something different. I always thought of myself where I could see something which nobody else in my family were able to see at that time. And there were some initial struggles, but my father was the one who said, if you see something, you should just do it. Even if you fail, it's going to be a good learning exercise for you. He allowed me to kind of go away from the family business and do what I wanted to do, and kind of helped me out to start with this business.
In parts of Kosovo, it's common for hotels and restaurants to keep a bear in a cage for the entertainment of visitors. And customers love them, and more customers means more money. The practice was actually outlawed back in 2010, but it still continues in remote parts of the country. Authorities are cracking down. The animal welfare organization Paws went on a sting operation to rescue some caged bears and bring them to an animal sanctuary. Nova TV's Nikolai Vasilkovsky went along.
The jagged peaks and green valleys of the Albanian Alps are known as the Accursed Mountains. And accursed they may seem to the brown bears kept in captivity in the region, squeezed into dark, tight cages as attractions for restaurant customers. Keeping wild animals is illegal in Kosovo, but where law and tradition clash, tradition often gets the upper hand. A team from the Paws animal rescue charity has come to the area. Bear rescue specialists from a sanctuary in Bulgaria, and veterinarians, biologists, and doctors from the KFOR International Peacekeepers. Policemen are also traveling with the convoy. They're heading for the Gryka restaurant, whose owners are holding two 7-year-old bears in captivity, Arusha and Balusha.
I paid about €1,000 for each of them. I really love them. I don't earn money with them. That's nonsense. I just love bears.
Just for him.
This love of bears can be very profitable. Many people come from all over to see the fearsome predators. But for the bears, the years in captivity have irreversible consequences.
The female, she is not in good conditions. Maybe she's blind, she doesn't recognize the people very well, and she has also some wounds. And the male looks a little bit better, but it's very important that we can get them out here of this cage.
A rescue operation like this almost always results in tension. After all, the business is losing one of its biggest draws. The bears are tranquilized, and the Bulgarian specialists take over. They move the animals into special transport cages.
These cages are specifically designed for the park in Kosovo. They're much bigger than the ones we use in Bulgaria. They can carry bigger bears.
Once the animals are safely inside the cages, the crew carry them to the bear ambulance. The Antika Motel and restaurant in the town of Paws, Kosovo. A busload of school children has come to see the motel's private zoo. There are all kinds of wild animals here, from wolves and foxes to bears. This 2-year-old bear is to be rescued and will become the 8th resident of the park in Pristina. The owner says he's cared for the little bear since it was a year old. For 3.5 years now, keeping wild animals has been prohibited by law in Kosovo. The little bear will be able to start a new life in the park, but many other animals are still caged. The rescue team arrives at the shelter near Pristina, carrying the bears in their specially designed van. The noise and jostling on the road has woken the bears up and made them anxious.
The traffic and the rough roads that cross the city are to blame.
Here, the bears can begin to recover from years of living in cages. The latest newcomers bring the number to 13. They're not in the wild, but here, these wounded, tortured, traumatized animals can enjoy a much more dignified experience.
That's all for this edition of World Stories. I'll sign off for now and leave you, as always, with this week's Picks of the World. Thanks for watching.
No one inside, and we got so much to